to call the expert evidence of Mr. Job Okun Oguya, whom they claim to be an information IT expert, and the ruling thereon. I further directed that the office of the clerk do engage the ICT authority and secure an expert who will provide independent advice on the Kericho County Assembly electronic voting system and submit a report that answers the following questions. Did an electronic voting process take place? Is the number of MCAs who voted on impeachment of the governor verifiable? Was it possible for an MCA or any other person who had a link to vote on the motion on behalf of an MCA or another MCA? How many MCAs voted in the affirmative on the motion? Affirmative on the motion to impeach the governor, and is there any evidence of multiple voting or other compromise of the voting system and or any other impropriety in the voting system or process? This report was prepared, Senator Boney. This system was prepared and submitted in the office of the clerk of the Senate on Thursday, 28th of August, 2025 at 9:35 p.m. and circulated to all honorable senators and to the parties during this morning's sitting. Now, honorable senators, as you may recall, in my communication issued on Wednesday, the 27th of August, 2025, I ruled that the preliminary objection be subsumed in the main hearing of the impeachment proceedings, as it was premature and could only properly be addressed once the Senate had heard and weighed the evidence before making any final decision on the impeachment charges. I further ruled that at the conclusion of the impeachment proceedings, but before voting on the charges, the Senate would pronounce its finding on whether the constitutional threshold of 2/3 of members of the County Assembly had been met. Honorable Senators, having considered the evidence adduced before the Senate by the parties and the report of the County Assembly of Kericho Chamber electronic voting system submitted by the IT Authority of Kenya, the Senate Majority Leader will give notice and move a motion on the ascertainment of the threshold required for the impeachment of Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. In the event that the Senate finds that the 2/3 threshold of 32 members of County Assembly was not met, then the impeachment proceeding shall immediately terminate, and the Senate shall not proceed to determine the impeachment charges. If, however, the Senate finds that the 2/3 threshold of 32 members of the County Assembly was met, then the Senate shall proceed to determine if the impeachment charges have been substantiated by voting thereon. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 2, hearing and determination on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Eric Mutai, Governor of Kericho County. Order number 3, notices of motion.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to give notice of 2 motions. The first motion is for the ascertainment of the threshold required for the impeachment of Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. That aware that pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Government Act, on Friday, 15th August 2025, the County Assembly of Kericho approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, Governor of Kericho County, and noting that by a letter referenced KCA/SP/3 Volume 1/39, dated Friday, 15th August 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Monday, 18th August 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho informed the Speaker of the Senate of the removal of the approval of the motion by the County Assembly, and further forwarded the Speaker to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly, including a list of 33 out of 47 members of the County Assembly that voted in favor of the removal from office by impeachment of Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. Further noting that in the course of the hearing, an important question arose on whether the threshold of 32 votes needed for impeachment of a governor, as accompanied in Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order Number 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho, was made, and considering the evidence adduced before the Senate by the parties on the issue, and further considering the report on the County Assembly of Kericho Chamber electronic voting system submitted by ICT experts on the invitation of the Senate, now therefore, the Senate resolves that the threshold required for removal of a governor from office by impeachment contemplated in Section 33 of the County Government Act and Standing Order Number 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho was made. End of motion 1. Motion 2, Mr. Speaker, sir. I give notice to the hearing and determination on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. That whereas pursuant to Article number 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, on Friday, 15th August 2025, the County Assembly of Kericho approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. Further, whereas by letter referenced number KCA/SP/3 Volume 1/39, dated Friday, 15th August 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker on Monday, 18th August 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of a motion by the County Assembly, and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly. Further, whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order Number 80 of the Senate heard the County Assembly on the grounds for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County, and further, whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order Number 80 of the Senate also heard the Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai on the grounds for his removal from office by impeachment as the Governor of Kericho. Now therefore, pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order Number 80 of the Senate now resolves to remove from office by impeachment the Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho, on the following grounds. Charge 1, gross violation of the Constitution and other laws. Charge 2, abuse of office. And Charge 3, gross misconduct. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 4, motion, ascertainment of the threshold required for the impeachment of Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County.
Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the House will bear with me. Before I start, I must introduce the motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to move the following motion. Being the ascertainment of the threshold required for the impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. That aware that pursuant to standing order to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, on Friday, 15th August 2025, the County Assembly of Kericho approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County, and noting that by letter reference number KCA/SP/3 Volume 1/39, dated Friday 15th August 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Monday 18th August 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the Assembly, and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly, including the list of 33 out of 47 members of the County Assembly that voted in favor of the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho. Further, noting that in the course of hearing, an important question arose on whether the threshold of 32 votes needed for impeachment of a governor, as contemplated in Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order Number 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho, was made, considering the evidence adduced before the Senate by the parties on the issues, and further considering the report on the County Assembly of Kericho Chamber electronic voting system submitted by the ICT experts on the invitation of the Senate. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the threshold required for removal of a governor from office by impeachment, contemplated in Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order Number 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho, was made. Mr. Speaker, this is a preliminary objection. And Mr. Speaker, as you pointed out earlier, should we find that the threshold required was made, that will be the end of business this evening. If it was, Mr. Speaker, if the threshold of 32 was not met, if it was not met, then that will be the end of business this evening. Otherwise, we will proceed to the next motion. Mr. Speaker, it is very interesting that 2 days ago, we celebrated 15 years after the promulgation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Mr. Speaker, for 2 years seriously, this debate is taking place at a time when in public domain there are people who think that men and women of this House do not have their own minds, do not have the capacity to make a decision on such a huge thing. So to me, this is a God-given opportunity. Let us do a good job so that we bring to shame those people who have no respect for other people who sit in offices other than the offices they themselves sit in. Mr. Speaker, just like you maybe, I have been helpless from the beginning up to the end of the hearing of the evidence on the PO. We have been thrown from one position to the other by this witness or that other witness. Members, you have seen witnesses from both parties flip and flop. You have seen, Mr. Speaker, others outrightly lying on oath. Mr. Speaker, you have even seen others contradicting themselves, those witnesses. And what's more, you have had, for the first time in our history in this parliament, you've seen a witness by the name of Edna rescind her signed affidavit. Mr. Speaker, in some cases, and there were many, in excess of 16, we saw witnesses here who had no sworn affidavit. They were speaking to a collective so-called affidavit. Mr. Speaker, because of the presence of the senior counsel, Omugeni, and many other eminent lawyers, including Justice Madayo, we know that we were at pains to find out how we would cross-examine and how we would seek further clarity from these people who swore, these witnesses who swore on a collective affidavit. Mark you, the affidavit were being sworn in respect of electronic voting. If they were being sworn collectively in the case of voice vote, then maybe you would say, in voice vote, we vote as a group. But electronic voting is an individual responsibility. So any witness coming here wanting to give us an affidavit on how they voted or didn't vote electronically, it had to be in the single person. It could not have been collective. Mr. Speaker, we have seen something unprecedented. A lawyer to this trial telling the House and on camera that he voted in Kericho. I've never seen it. And I'm sure the legal fraternity and you, the learned friends, you must be waiting what this House will decide about a lawyer who purports to vote in a county assembly process, something which was then controverted by the expert who said that there was no evidence whatsoever that this lawyer voted in Kericho. What's more, you have seen impunity where not just a lawyer, but a senior counsel go and assume the role of a speaker in the county assembly of Kericho and calls for members of the county assembly to abide by his request. They stand. What is more, Mr. Speaker, the same council has tried to mislead this House by saying that there was interference with the voting logs. The expert who came confirmed that such an interference was not there. This is a good opportunity for us to speak to all respective professions, be it the legal profession, architectural, whatever, that people must live within the oath of office that you take when you qualify from a particular discipline. Mr. Speaker, I'll keep it short by saying the following as my last request. That we are lucky. I don't know whether it was the wisdom of the Speaker or the wisdom of the leader of the majority with the Speaker and the leader of the minority with the Speaker and others, when the House made a decision, as communicated by the Speaker, that this House must call for an expert, independent IT. Can you imagine where we would have been? When the first expert came, this expert was from the county assembly. He carried most of us along. But when the lawyers descended on him, we became confused. We didn't know whether to believe him or not. Subsequently, when the team of the governor then brought its own version of an expert, it was a bigger disaster. In fact, it is the senator of Narok who captured it. He said that his affidavit was more about a collection of his credentials. And when I looked at the credentials, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished senators, it was nothing impressive. The only serious credential there was bachelor in computer science. Otherwise, the other things were diploma here, the other things, some course training there, nothing that is, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Speaker, sir, you'll have your time, my brother. You'll have your time.
Senator Boni, proceed and conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sir, when I looked at those two experts and read and understood what the legal expert, not legal, the IT expert from the governor's side was telling us, he did not speak to the voting in Kericho. He started telling us the standard things that you can cut and paste when you want to increase your knowledge about these things where a majority of us are strangers. I want therefore to thank you for bringing Mr. Lubuga, the expert who came from the authority. It is only Lubuga who clearly demonstrated to us, those of us who are lay, that voting took place electronically, who demonstrated to us, Mr. Speaker, that 33 MCS voted in Kericho, who confirmed to us that although the system could be better, but as of the time of voting, it was credible, who confirmed to us, Mr. Speaker, that no one MCA would be able to vote for the other one. I therefore conclude, Mr. Speaker, by proposing that, honorable members, let us give the people of Kericho an opportunity to hear your views on what you thought about the allegations against the governor. They want to know, because I know you are not biased. And the only way you can give them that opportunity to hear what the Senate has to say about how Dr. Kip Koech has been working in office is by allowing this PO to fall, because 33 elected leaders in Kericho found through voting electronically that the governor had a case to answer before us. I move and request that the distinguished senator from Narok, the Honorable Olekina, seconds my motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this motion that this House finds that the threshold required by the Constitution for impeaching a governor has been met. Mr. Speaker, I'll be brief to the point. I will try not to be sensational, but factual. There are times for being sensational, but there are times for being factual. Mr. Speaker, with me here, I hold two audit reports of a system. One audit report is allegedly an expert who have been presented by the county governor of Kericho, who 30 pages out of 37 pages, 39 pages is mere credentials of an IT expert, not really taking us to the issues of whether the threshold was met. The Constitution of Kenya in Article 182 requires that 2/3 is met. And in Kericho County, there are 47 members of the County Assembly, which means this Senate has determined that the threshold is 32. It was an issue that we debated. Others think it's 31. But in this case, the ICT Authority of Kenya determined that according to the evidence presented, 33 members of the County Assembly voted to impeach the County Governor of Kericho. Mr. Speaker, all of us here are litigant, one way or the other. I have never in my history of litigation and going to court sworn a joint affidavit with my co-witness. In fact, when I first saw that affidavit, I said this affidavit is defective because an affidavit is deponed by one individual person under oath that what they are about to say is something that they can be able to stand with. When I looked at the affidavit that was sworn by 18, allegedly 18, I'm told one bolted out and presented a different affidavit. It was very difficult for me to determine who is taking responsibility on what. It was so difficult even for the two counsel to be able to cross-examine those witnesses. Because one of them said that I signed the affidavit at 1 p.m. after lunch, yet we have been shown evidence clearly that the proceedings proceeded all the way past 9 p.m. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to deliver the point. The issue is very clear. When it comes to voting in this House, Mr. Speaker, we have three choices of voting. You either vote to the affirmative and say yes, or you vote no, or you abstain. There was a huge argument about those ones who alleged that they abstained. It is impractical, Mr. Speaker, when a voting is being carried out electronically, for you to stand in the middle of a hall and say, I abstain. Unless you press a button and you say, I have abstained, and your record and your vote is indicated there, it will be difficult for the results to be printed out with your voice having absented. So, Mr. Speaker, I do not want to proceed further. I want to urge this Senate to recognize the ICT Authority audit and their findings and their conclusions and proceed accordingly with the impeachment hearing so that we can be able to delve into other matters that requires this Senate to call these governors to account for the resources that we sent to the county governments. Mr. Speaker, I beg to second. Honorable Senators, I will now propose the questions. Order, Senator Fumeru. Order. That aware that pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, on Friday, 15th of August 2025, the County Assembly of Kericho approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Eric Mutahi, Governor of Kericho County. Noting that by a letter reference number KCA/SP/3 Volume 1 into brackets 39, dated Friday 15th of August 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Monday, 18th August 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the County Assembly, and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly, including the list of 33 out of 47 members of the County Assembly that voted in favor of the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Eric Mutahi, the Governor of Kericho County. Further, noting that in the course of the hearing, an important question arose on whether the threshold of 32 votes needed for the impeachment of a governor as contemplated in Section 33 of the County Government Act and Standing Order 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho was met. Considering the evidence adduced before the Senate by the parties on the issue, and further, considering the report of the County Assembly of Kericho Chamber electronic voting system submitted by the ICT experts on the invitation of the Senate, now therefore, the Senate resolves that the threshold required for removal of a governor from office by impeachment contemplated in Section 33 of the County Government Act and Standing Order 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho was met. Now, Honorable Senators, the floor is open for debate. But again, going to the agreement that was negotiated between the two sides, we'll have 4 members speak from the minority side and 4 members speak from the majority side, each speaking for more than 4 minutes. Not more than 4 minutes. You need not utilize the 4. I will start with Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will restrict myself to IT issues. Mr. Speaker, you made a decision that this House hires an IT expert so that we can be guided on the issue of the IT system that was deployed for voting. And that would give us a pointer as to whether the threshold was met or not. Mr. Speaker, I have gone through the report by the expert, and allow me to point out the inconsistencies that I've seen in the report. Mr. Speaker, this report is basically a production of the extracts from Volume 4A of the County Assembly bundles. If you look at the logs, it's the same. If you look at the list of users of the system, it's the same. But there are only 2 things that have been included. And this is contained on page 13, where the expert attempted to do an IP lookup for that IP address that had been used 9 times. And in the lookup, Mr. Speaker, the lookup is supposed to tell you the physical location of a device, in this case on the internet. The physical location of this device is Kericho, but there are inconsistencies, Mr. Speaker. The inconsistency here indicates that the city is Leten town. Mr. Speaker, we all know that the County Assembly of Kericho is in Kericho town, if I'm not wrong. But this lookup brings Leten town. I have a problem with that. Mr. Speaker, I've taken the trouble to do the IP lookup for all the other IP addresses that have been provided on page 29 of the County Assembly Bundles, Volume 4A. If you look at the lookup results, Mr. Speaker, you'll be shocked that the lookup results indicates that these devices were in different towns in Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Kiambu, Kijabe, Eldoret, Ahero, Narok, Yala, Baringo, Nyandarua, and Kapsabet. And Mr. Speaker, I attempted to ask this House to give us an opportunity to demonstrate that on the screen. I was denied that opportunity. I would like to ask this House that we can still do an IP lookup and we determine the physical location of these devices. These devices I proposed, Mr. Speaker, were phones that were used to vote. Mr. Speaker, an issue was raised about IP address which had been used 9 times, 41.139.238.129. And we were told that that was our Wi-Fi that was shared. But Mr. Speaker, there is an IP address, another one, that has been used 3 times. 154.1. Answer that question.
You have exhausted your time, Senator. All right. 2 minutes, you conclude. 2 minutes, you conclude.
If you look at the only thing that my student, because this Philip was my student, I trained him on ITIL, which is an international standard on IT security. The only other serious thing that I've seen is on page 16, where the expert tried to bring a checklist that is used in international ICT audit. But this checklist, Mr. Speaker, if you go through it, there are no supporting documents to this report. They are not supporting. Everywhere except 2 instances is indicated no. The rest are yes. But there are no supporting documents to support, including the matter of training, whether training for the system was done or not. Mr. Speaker, I want this House to note that yours truly was an expert in presidential petition, Raila Odinga versus IBC, together with Senator Kajwang. And our evidence on the same matter, results transmission, annulled the election, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to take you Article 86 of the Constitution on voting methods. It says the voting method must be simple, accurate, verifiable, secure, accountable, and transparent. Mr. Speaker, this does not qualify in any way to meet the basic requirement under Article 86 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, this House's credibility has been questioned. We have an opportunity to decide whether we want to continue being condemned outside there or make the right decision. I want to urge this House that we need to send back these MCS to do the right job and bring back the right voting numbers. Whether this has met the threshold or not, I want to.
Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker, I want to first of all agree with the mover of the motion on one issue. And that's the only issue I'm going to agree with Bonnie Khalwale. That this House must be respected by everybody, by every office. And Mr. Speaker, this House has donated none other than the Deputy President and Cabinet Ministers. So it must be respected by everybody, Mr. Speaker. And I come to my point. Mr. Speaker, I disagree with the mover of this motion. I totally disagree. There is doubt as to the numbers of the people who actually participated in the voting. There is doubt. There is doubt. And you cannot escape that, because we have been sitting here for the last 3 days, Mr. Speaker, and every person who has spoken to this matter, Mr. Speaker, including the experts, they have created doubt and continue to create doubt. Mr. Speaker, we are sitting here as a quasi-judicial unit. In fact, it is a criminal case that we are handling, almost like a criminal case. And the question that we must ask ourselves is, what is the standard that must be met when we are proving things? What is the standard? And if we can agree what the standard is, then we should not have a problem with rejecting this motion. Mr. Speaker, we borrow heavily from the American system. In the US, Mr. Speaker, 8 governors have been impeached, and 5 of them have been sent home. 3 have survived, one of them having resigned before the process was completed. Mr. Speaker, in the US, the test is very simple. They say it is legal evidence plus political tests. But Mr. Speaker, here in Kenya, we have a standard that is divided into 2. And I want to propose, Mr. Speaker, that when the motion is coming from the county assembly, when we are talking about the issues of threshold, Mr. Speaker, the standard must be like the criminal level standard. It must be beyond reasonable doubt. It must be. On these other motions, on these other charges, then we can adopt the American standard of saying it is legal evidence and political test. But on the question from the county assembly, Mr. Speaker, it must be beyond reasonable doubt. Mr. Speaker, here they have said that the expert report, the ICT authority, is to be followed like it is from the Bible. But Mr. Speaker, he himself, I heard him say that if you have the credentials of the ID and the IDDP, any person could actually vote. He said it himself here. And Mr. Speaker, the other senators are not telling us that that report was not signed by the side of the governors. They did not sign it because they did not agree with it. The ICT man disappeared for 2 hours, and when he came, he was not speaking to anybody. Mr. Speaker,
Senator Professor Tom Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will address myself to the threshold issue based on the evidence tendered before Senate. Mr. Speaker, witness statements were shown to us from pages 113 and other individual witness statements thereafter. 18 witnesses, Mr. Speaker, testified in a manner as to recant their signature or their vote on the day that voting occurred. That raises doubt, Mr. Speaker. 2, Mr. Speaker, the report that was apparently brought to this House by the IT expert seemed not to have achieved concurrence. It therefore did not conform to the terms of reference that was set or that was set by the Senate for this report to pass the test of authenticity or concurrence of all those who sat to make this report. Mr. Speaker, thirdly, Mr. Speaker, impeachments are not under Articles 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Government Act, are set on a threshold that is cast in stone. And that threshold, Mr. Speaker, as cast in stone, speaks to a minimum of 32 MCAs for Kericho County. The moment there's doubt as to a vote, Mr. Speaker, then that doubt must be resolved in favor of the governor. Mr. Speaker, I say this not because I want to be a governor or that I hold a PhD like the governor being impeached, Mr. Speaker, but because I speak the truth. And we must uphold, Mr. Speaker, and protect the office of governor in the same manner, Mr. Speaker, as we protect any other officers. Mr. Wambua, I know you want to be governor. Keep quiet. So, Mr. Speaker, it is that doubt or that shred of doubt, Mr. Speaker, that leads me to the conclusion, Mr. Speaker, and I agree with the analysis of Senator Osotsi, that we cannot sacrifice the governor at the altar of an unverified system. It is unethical and we will not do that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first, I want to disagree with the move of the motion. First, Honorable Speaker, on the issue of credentials, you know I heard Senator Boni Kalwale say the expert from the governor's team, other than a degree, it was dotted with some diploma here and there. I want to remind Boni Kalwale that diploma is a recognized qualification in the Kenya education system. And if he has forgotten, I also want to remind him that his house was built by a person with a diploma in building. And even as we say that the expert from the governor provided a document that was littered with qualification, the expert from ICT Authority, the only thing that we have in this report is his title, Deputy Director of ICT. We don't even know whether he's really an expert. Honorable Speaker, having said that, I'm also an ICT person. And there are very basic things in ICT security you must look at. And all of us know, even when you are opening your own email and you create a password, the system alone will tell you that password is not strong. And there are things that you are not allowed to use as a password, things like identity card number. Honorable Speaker, even as we sit here as senators, our files are in the custody of the clerk. All the staff members of the Senate handle our files. They know our ID numbers. The IPPD number is in the file. They know our IPPD numbers, Honorable Speaker. How then do you say that the credentials were so secure when we all know that ID numbers are in the files, the staff are walking around with the files, they have those ID numbers, they have those credentials? Honorable Speaker, the council from the county assembly said, if an alligator leaves the water and the river and tells you the hippo is sick, who are you to doubt? So for us as senators, if honorable members of county assembly who are alleged to have voted, have worked physically here, we are seeing them alive, and they have said they never voted. Honorable Speaker, what reason do we have to doubt that they voted? Honorable Speaker, if you look at this IP, number 41, 139, 237, 129, that appears in the IP lookup to have been in Laikipia, I highly suspect is the one that was used to vote for the 3 honorable members. Honorable Speaker, why did that IP vote for 3 members? Honorable Speaker, this impeachment was premeditated. You cannot in ICT develop a system today, launch a day before, and use it before doing what we call a test run of the system, Honorable Speaker. There is a difference between a voting system that tallies electronic data And a biometric where you just have to put your fingerprint, Honorable Speaker. Biometric is just part of electronic, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the County Assembly must tell us, how do you hire an officer who has been fired by the county executive and immediately you go and employ them in the County Assembly for only one mission, to make sure that you impeach the governor in a manner that is...
Senator, no, you're done. No. We cannot go that route. Senator Mogeni, you have made your point. No. Senator Mogeni. Okay, Senator Mogeni, just take your seat. Order. 30 seconds.
Yes, in that 30 seconds, Honorable Speaker, the County Assembly members are saying the governor is in gross violation of the law. I had one member of the County Assembly saying the governor should have fired the chief officers. While on the same testimony, Honorable Speaker, the MCA acknowledged that that is the work of the County Public Service Board. How then do they say that the governor has violated the laws, Honorable Speaker? Finally, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Mogeni.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is a universally accepted principle, Mr. Speaker, that you would rather acquit 10 suspects, if in doubt, than to convict one unfairly. Mr. Speaker, today is my Sabbath, and I came here to understand this system that was developed in Migori, a special purpose vehicle system that was meant to impeach the governor of Kericho. Mr. Speaker, for the 3 days that we have sat here, Mr. Speaker, on my part, I have not been able to understand this system, Mr. Speaker. I'm unable to understand, Mr. Speaker, how this system was allocated to each person in terms of devices, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is drama that has played out in this house in the eyes of the public, Mr. Speaker. An MCA, Mr. Speaker, called Martin, came to this house, Mr. Speaker, and swore by the name of Almighty God, Mr. Speaker, that he did not cast his vote at the County Assembly of Kericho, Mr. Speaker. Do you believe the system, or do you believe the person who carried the Bible and swore before the Senate, Mr. Speaker? Whom do you trust? Is it the Bible or the system? It's the Bible, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, more drama, Mr. Speaker. The same MCA Martin, Mr. Speaker, played a video before this house that was watched by Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, where the mover of the motion, Mr. Speaker, was recorded in a discussion saying that he voted on behalf of that MCA. Does that create a doubt in the minds of senators? Yes or no? Mr. Speaker, if you are in doubt, acquit. If you have been placed in a situation where there is reasonable doubt as to whether the 3 MCAs voted, acquit, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the expert, Mr. Luvuga, I posed a question to him. I asked him, if an MCA had a link, a username, a password, could he vote on behalf of another MCA? He said, yes. Mr. Speaker, in this house, where I sit there, with that card there, if my neighbor, Senator Wambua, as my PIN, and he wanted to play mischief, Mr. Speaker, he can cast a vote on my behalf, Mr. Speaker. As I submit this evening, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the entire system, Mr. Speaker, reasonable doubt has been created as to whether the 33 MCAs who voted indeed cast their vote. Mr. Speaker, there is what we call the materiality principle. If you remove the 4 MCAs, the motion must fail and we return it back to the MCS. If, on the other hand, you are convinced that that 3 MCS voted, we can move to the next step. My submission this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, is that reasonable doubt has been created as to whether the 33 MCS voted. The only thing we can do as senators, Mr. Speaker, is to return the motion back to the MCS in Kericho. They conduct the impeachment in a proper manner, Mr. Speaker, and return to us, Mr. Speaker. Remember the case of O.J. Simpson's. If the gloves cannot fit, acquit. In this case, Mr. Speaker, if we are not convinced that 3 MCS indeed voted, the motion fails and we return it back to the county.
Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As the members have said, I'm an expert. And I want to report to the House that Senator Mandako and Senator Osotsi are my juniors in the profession. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, what members needs to be reminded, when the expert from ICT Authority was here, he said for you to vote, you need IBBD number, your ID number, and you need the link that has been sent to your phone so that you can vote. Honorable Speaker, I don't know why our memories are so short that within 2 or 3 hours, we have forgotten what the ICT expert from ICT Authority said, Honorable Speaker. It's done at the County Assembly. Telcom and the Airtel, Honorable Speaker. So this, the location where my colleagues are saying, it is where the service providers location where, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is a question that I put to the two experts that did you undertake penetration test? The expert from as an expert who still practices, and I practiced from 2nd of November 1994 after working.
1 minute, you conclude. 1 minute, you conclude. Honorable Senator.
Honorable Speaker, as an expert who has practiced for over 34 years, Honorable Speaker, between the two experts, I believe the expert from ICT Authority. And for your information, we did not seek for the profile for the expert from ICT Authority. And to reach that level of a deputy director, you must have masters in ICT. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Finally,
Mr. Speaker,
Majority Leader will 5 minutes.
This entire process. Anyway, I will try, Mr. Speaker.
Try, because if you see at the clock, we are at 11. And you know exactly what that means.
Okay, I understand.
So
Speaker.
keep it under 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I must record that this has been a very difficult 3 days. I've sat here for many years transacting impeachment when your own county is on trial. It's embarrassing, Mr. Speaker, traumatizing, and heartbreaking. Mr. Speaker, I must register my appreciation to colleagues in this House. First, for agreeing to listen to our issues. That you must receive in great measure. You must receive in great measure from the people of Kericho. Up to this point, Mr. Speaker, I want to pass are facing.